Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we cover all the biggest stories in entertainment, and today's story is one for the ages. Ripa and Mark Consuelos are one of those rare Hollywood couples that genuinely makes you believe in love. They've been together for nearly 3 decades, they've built a beautiful family, and they've somehow managed to keep their relationship not just intact, but thriving in an industry that chews up romance and spits it out on a daily basis. But recently, the beloved television power couple sat down and revealed details about their wedding proposal that have the internet completely losing its mind. And honestly, after hearing the full story, we completely understand why. This isn't just a cute celebrity anecdote. This is a masterclass in how two people who are absolutely made for each other find a way to make it work, even when the circumstances are, shall we say, wildly unconventional. Background context. To truly appreciate why this proposal story is so extraordinary, you have to understand the whirlwind origin story of Ripa and Mark Consuelos as a couple. For those who might be newer fans of either of them, here's the quick but essential background. Ripa was already a well-established television personality when she auditioned for the role of Haley on the long-running soap opera, All My Children. She had charm, she had charisma, and she had that rare quality that cameras simply adore. Mark Consuelos, on the other hand, was a relative newcomer to the acting world when he landed the role of Mateo Santos on that same show. From the very first moment these two shared screen time together, something was unmistakably electric. It wasn't just acting chemistry, it was the real thing, and apparently everyone on set could feel it. Their real-life romance blossomed quickly and intensely, the kind of love story that feels almost too cinematic to be true. They were young, they were ambitious, they were deeply in love, and they made a decision together that was as bold as it was romantic. In May of 1996, after a whirlwind courtship that moved at a pace that would make most people's heads spin, Ripa and Mark Consuelos eloped to Las Vegas and got married. No grand ceremony, no elaborate guest list, no months of wedding planning. Just two people completely certain about each other, making it official. The world was charmed. The tabloids were buzzing, and fans of All My Children went absolutely wild knowing that the on-screen romance had become something beautifully real. Over the years, Kelly and Mark have grown into one of television's most enduring and endearing partnerships. Kelly, of course, became a household name as the longtime co-host of what is now known as Live with Kelly and Mark, a show she has dominated with her infectious energy and quick wit for well over 2 decades. Mark has had a steady and impressive acting career, including his notable return to daytime television and his celebrated role on Riverdale. Together, they share 3 children, Michael, Lola, and Joaquin, and by all accounts, they have built a life that is as grounded as it is glamorous. But here's the thing about couples like Kelly and Mark: the more time passes, the more their origin story becomes something people want to revisit. And recently, revisiting that origin story meant talking about something that had, apparently, never been fully disclosed before: the actual proposal. Main news details. Here is where things get genuinely fascinating, and where the internet collectively stopped scrolling and started paying very close attention. Ripa and Mark Consuelos recently opened up about the details of their engagement proposal, and the story they told was not what anyone expected. In fact, it was so unusual, so delightfully out of left field, that Kelly herself felt compelled to emphasize just how serious she was being when she told it, saying, and we quote, "I'm dead serious." So what exactly happened? The proposal, as it turns out, did not follow any of the traditional romantic scripts that we've been conditioned to expect from celebrity love stories. There was no elaborate setup, no orchestrated moment designed for maximum Instagram impact. Keep in mind, this was the mid-90s, so social media wasn't even a factor. Yet still, the proposal defied every conventional expectation of the era. Mark Consuelos, in what can only be described as a move that was equal parts impulsive, earnest, and completely characteristic of a young man absolutely certain he had found a one, proposed in a manner that was deeply personal, spontaneous, and entirely their own. The couple discussed on air how the proposal felt less like a scripted Hollywood moment and more like an organic extension of the intense, fast-moving connection they had developed. There was an urgency to it, a realness that Kelly described with a kind of bemused affection that only someone who has been happily married for nearly 30 years can muster. She recounted the story with laughter, with warmth, and with that particular brand of self-aware humor that has made her one of the most beloved television hosts of her generation. Mark, for his part, was characteristically charming about the whole thing, acknowledging the unconventional nature of how events unfolded while making it abundantly clear that every part of it was absolutely intentional on his end. What makes this revelation so compelling is the contrast it presents against the polished, curated image of celebrity romance that dominates our cultural landscape today. Kelly and Mark weren't performing their love story for an audience when it happened. They were simply two young people in the thick of real, overwhelming, can't-eat, can't-sleep romance, making decisions from the gut rather than from a carefully managed public relations playbook. The proposal, in all its glorious unconventionality, was a perfect preview of the kind of partnership they would build, one built on authenticity, humor, and an unshakable foundation of genuine affection. The couple also touched on the emotions surrounding that period of their lives, the excitement, the nervousness, and yes, the absolute certainty that this was right even when the circumstances might have seemed rushed to outside observers. Kelly was particularly candid about the fact that when, and she knew from very early on that Mark Consuelos was the person she wanted to build her life with. Mark echoed those sentiments with a kind of quiet confidence that has always made him such a compelling personality, both on screen and off. What the internet has been reacting to most strongly is not just the details of the proposal itself, but the way Kelly and Mark told the story. There is something profoundly refreshing about a celebrity couple who can sit down, look back at the early days of their relationship, and laugh genuinely, freely, without any manufactured sentimentality. Their ease with each other, their ability to find humor in their own love story while also honoring its depth and significance, is exactly why people have been rooting for them for nearly 3 decades. The reaction from fans and media alike has been nothing short of explosive in the best possible way. Social media platforms lit up almost immediately after the details began circulating, with fans flooding comment sections and feeds with declarations of love for the couple. Words like goals, iconic, and this is what real love looks like dominated the discourse, which, in an era of celebrity breakups and very public romantic implosions, feels particularly significant. Entertainment media outlets picked up the story with notable enthusiasm, framing it as a heartwarming counterpoint to the more tumultuous celebrity relationship narratives that tend to dominate the headlines. Several commentators pointed out that the story resonates so deeply because it feels human, relatable in a way that many celebrity love stories simply don't. The proposal wasn't perfect by conventional standards. It wasn't cinematic in the traditional sense, but it was theirs. And that authenticity is precisely what makes it so magnetic. Longtime fans of Live with Kelly and Mark were especially vocal, with many noting that the couple's willingness to share these personal details is a big part of what has made the show such a beloved institution. Kelly and Mark don't just host a talk show together. They invite their audience into their actual lives, and moments like this proposal revelation are proof of that genuine openness. On a deeper level, this story matters for reasons that go well beyond celebrity gossip. In a media landscape that is increasingly saturated with performative romance, couples staging proposals for social media, relationships playing out in real time through carefully curated content, Kelly and Mark's story is a reminder that the most enduring love stories are often the ones that don't follow the script. Their proposal was unusual. Their elopement was spontaneous. And yet here they are, nearly 30 years later, still genuinely delighted by each other, and still choosing every single day to build their life together.